This is the story of Mabel, a tale of dread, terror, and atrocities. Atrocities resulting in one of the worst acts against human beings in history. We begin our story with Shaniqua, a well-read girl who grew up in Florida. She attended private schools and had multiple PhDs by the time she was 25. She also married Hercule when she was 25. So it looked like a very good year in her life. Hercule was just an ordinary guy with a barbecue in his backyard. He and Shaniqua were very happy, until one day something very sad happened.
Hercule, what's wrong?
Shaniqua said, gazing down at him on the sofa.
Poirot has killed me. Do whatever it takes to ruin Poirot's life,
Hercule said. But the demands were vague and scary. She knew Poirot was a character from Murder on the Orient Express, and that the full name was Hercule Poirot. And that was a direct reference, but her dying husband then said,
Ridgelington, Oxford, London.
It shook her to the bone dry. Professor Donald Ridgelington. Donald was his surname, Ridgelington his first name, but he went the other way round since it sounded better. Professor Ridgelington had him and his lovely girlfriend Sarah just to think about. They were marrying next month, and she approached him. She headed to London, but one thing was interesting. Hercule had shown no signs of death leading up to this, or any depression or endangerment. He just sat there on the couch. In fact, there was some joking tone in his voice, some strange atmosphere going round. The pathetic fallacy was cold. The air was crisp. A strange scent of confidence breathed down her derelict and hard spine as she walked into the professor's office shouting,
You killed my husband.
Professor Ridgelington let out a ruthful laugh. It sounded like a shriek, but he had gone crazy. Then with a painless gasp, he said,
Killed him? He just doesn't want to talk to you, so he's running away from you.
Shaniqua realized what had happened, and she was petrified of the loss. Ridgelington had met his husband before. They were golf friends, and then he said,
You're Poirot and I'm Hercule. We are going to love our new lives.
Professor Ridgelington only gasped at the thought of it, but the idea had stuck in his head.
You know what? Leaving your wife will really give me some peace and quiet from your daily complaints. I'll happily have you blame it on me.
To put it into words of which idiots can understand, Professor Ridgelington was annoyed at the constant complaints of Hercule about the boredom of his at home. He was disturbing him way too much from his work, so he agreed for Hercule to blame him for his own death. I know it sounds complicated and non-poetic, and it's not supposed to be, but Out by Robert Frost isn't poetic, so who cares? And for spoilers, the child dies in the end. Shaniqua then said,
Your heirs, they need to fight each other to take this vast empire. That girl or any of her children ever will be undeserving of this empire. Make them fight. And this, as complicated as it sounds, was something she had just thought up of on the spot. A raw idea.
Professor Ridgelington had seen what she had said and heard it. He had many secret heirs and had cheated many times on his wife. He knew that only one was destined for this fortune.
Fine, I'll do it.
Now we all know the story, but to bring you up to speed, his heir was caught in the back of his house by Tia Maria. She looked at him and then divorced him, arrived in New York where Sarah and Jessica were having a fight. What happened after this encounter between Shaniqua and Professor Ridgelington, that Jessica, Sarah, and Tia Maria don't know, was controversial. Shaniqua was lost. Had she messed up the lives of a perfectly innocent man? Or had she done the right thing for her husband who was just suffering from boredom at home? As a result, she moved into the countryside, camping in a camper van, staying alone. She changed her name from Shaniqua to Mabel, and was now very old. She became rough and hard. She spoke with a devilish voice. Then, of course, as you would expect, Professor Ridgelington died because he ate the child. And who fed it to him? None other than Mabel. Why? She saw her in her camper van. They were playing in the woods together. She took it upon herself to end his life so she could finally rest herself that she had not done something so bad. So she did it. She killed the man, but now the man's exes wanted to kill her. Jessica, Sarah, and Tia Maria sat around the fireplace in a New York City apartment. Jessica was drunk as usual, and Sarah was hiding to protect herself from the craziness. Tia Maria then said,
Let's do it, let's end it.
And they gave her a call. Don't ask me how they got her number. They waited several seconds, somewhere between 5 and 8. But side conversations began.
Hopefully we can all get justice. But one thing I would like to know, Sarah, is why didn't you tell me about this kid's father?
He would have been a bad father. I'm not sure if I can cope with him being the father of this child. I'm sure we will revisit this in the future, the day my child grows up, and this life is all we have.
They spoke a small amount, but then their side conversations were interrupted as Tia Maria began counting down the seconds it took for the woman on the other side to pick up the phone. They counted together.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, shut up, everyone. I think someone has picked up.
Hello, Mabel speaking.
Mabel, can you put me through with Shaniqua?
How the hell do you know my birth name?
Why did you kill my ex-husband?
Life is complicated.
And that ended it all.
If you enjoyed today's video, do not forget to like and subscribe and stay tuned every week for a new special premiere on Tuesday at 23 WAD.